Good morning, guys. March the 21st here in central Illinois. I just thought I'd take a few minutes this morning and show you a little toy that I just picked up. I got myself a Lionel 6, I believe it is. Now this has been thoroughly and completely restored. And the gentleman I bought it from told me that he had acquired it 20 years ago, I believe. And I asked him who it was that restored it, and he had forgotten over time, but it was somebody on the East Coast. Well, whoever did it went through it with a fine-tooth comb and did one hell of a restoration. The motor has been rewound. It's been rewired. I think, and I am not an expert on any of this at all, but I think that the only reproduction part happens to be the front truck. They did a lovely job on the tender. I don't know if that's rubber stamping or it is transfer, but whoever did it did a wonderful job. They did a wonderful job lining it. Tell you what, the windows are really well done. I try to do that myself, and I can never make it as clean as what Lionel did. And I know they all did it by hand. I don't think that they used a template over that at all. But this is a really, really nice outfit. I put it on the track. It immediately took off. I took it back off the track and put a little oil on it. And I'm pouring a series of 10 series cars. Now, this is only a single drive. This is only, it's got one driven gear wheel on it, and then everything else is powered by the rods. So it doesn't do a bad job. In fact, this is perfect for it. And I can pull two more cars. I have pulled two more cars, but it works the ever-living hell out of it. And if I put just one on it, it pulls it, but it works. Once they get the rolling, it's all right. These things are like trying to pull a lead sled. But with four cars on it, it does a very nice job. It runs well. I want it to last. If I live another 10 years, I want it to last another 10 years. So I'm not going to bog it down and burn it out in the next couple of months. It's great watching it pull a long train, but it's not beneficial to its health, and it's not beneficial to my mental well-being. So quickly, we'll run this puppy around, and you can judge for yourself. I'm absolutely tickled, and I do mean tickled to death with it. I think it looks absolutely fantastic with the 10 series cars on it. And those cars are both after 1916 and manufacturing cars. So it runs the gamut there. Of course, the newest one would be about 1926. I think that's when they quit building that series. So, without further ado, here we go. A nice running piece of equipment, really is. I'm absolutely, like I said, tickled to death with the thing. I can almost see Casey Jones at the throttle. So, there we are. Like I said, I'm tickled to death with it. I'll show you what I'm doing now on the dump, the power dump. It's coming along pretty doggone well. I've added doors. Somebody out there a couple weeks ago said to me, "Hey, numbnuts, are you going to add a window to the other side of that cab?" And I had thought about that. He brought to light what I was thinking about secretly, because it kind of looks stupid if you only put a door on one side and nothing on the other. I mean, after all, the operator has to look out both sides. And I got to thinking, to put a window in it is a real hassle. I don't have as much to work with as far as mistakes, burying your mistakes with a window as I do with a door. So I went and I put double doors on it. And hopefully you can see this. But what I've done is I have soldered, I call it a spring, on the back side of the door. And I'll show you how I did that. Here's the back side of the door. It's embossed. And all I do is I mark it out on the tin and I cut that slot. That slot is just big enough to allow the embossing to lay flat. Then the edge of the door is right up against the tin. And then I just take I take a piece of tin and I weld it. I solder it across here, and I spread it open just a little bit, because when I put these doors in these slots, I literally put them on like a bottle cap. I screw them into that hole, and then I adjust it left and right, or up or down, and it's a tight fit. And when I go ahead and I paint this cab, I will put those doors on without the face being on there, because that causes me a problem. I have to lift the edge of that door up to get it over in the top, and so I can put the springs on both sides of the wall. Now the bigger question is, and it holds this stuff absolutely perfectly. I'll show you. There you go, both sides of these, and it works out great. Now, the real problem, excuse me, one-handed again. The real problem is going to arise when I screw that door in on paint. The question will be, how much scuffing of the paint will it do? Will it be noticeable, or will the paint be hard enough to handle the friction? Because it is a tight fit, and I don't want it loose. You've got to have something. You want it to pull it to the bulkhead there. So what I will probably do is this cab is basically done. And what I may do is go ahead and paint it and then assemble it and see how it looks. I can always touch up the paint. Paint's not going to be a big problem with this, because all I've got is the roof. I've got the face and the sides. I think the roof is going to be black. I think the sides, I may paint the front and the sides orange or yellow, or I may do a black roof, a black front, and then orange sides with brass doors. Now, the only thing that I question is this. This is where the knob comes out to control the dump. There's a number of ways that I can do this. I could, if I wanted to, cut that all out, put a door on here, cut a big hole for the rod here through the door. Or I could just take and put a window up here. Or I could think maybe that Lionel wouldn't have done a damn thing, and all they would have done was just put the knob on it and not spend any extra money. So I don't know which way I'm going to go with the side. I have a window that I could put in. I don't know if I want to mess with it. Like I say, there's not as much room for mistakes when you're using these small windows. They've got a very, very thin lip. So if you cut the hole too big, of course, it falls right through. Better to cut the hole too small and then adjust it with a file as you go. But that's what I'm up to on this. It's coming along well. I'm well pleased with the way these doors are easy to put in. Like I say, once I laid them out, This right here is, I believe, I'd have to look at it. I use key stock as a guide. I put it on there. I butt the door up to it, and that more or less centers it. I was going to put it right up against the face, and then I thought, I don't want to do that. That's just going to cause me problems. So there's always a slight amount of adjustment with that door, which just gives you a lot of room to play with it to get things right. So that's where we're at with the power dump. Like I say, I'm looking forward to doing this cab, just getting it painted, and see how it looks with the color scheme. So that might be next on our list. Well, guys, like I say, it's Friday. It's the 21st. Tomorrow's the weekend. Everybody have a good weekend. Have a safe weekend, and we'll talk with you later, I hope. Toodaloo.